Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. This is a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country. Joining me on this segment is Virginia Altman. She's the founder of the Exit Eagle. Virginia, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
Virginia, tell us a little bit about your work and specifically tell us who are the types of clients that you specialize in helping.
Well, I'll preface it by telling you how I got into it. I ended up owning my family's business and discovered 3 years into it that the nephew I was getting ready to take it over was serious when he said he didn't want it. And so that started me on a journey of learning how to sell your business. That was in 2006. And since then, going through that process encouraged me to found one for other similar business owners, which means small to mid-sized market, more towards sort of upper small and lower mid. I love working with business owners who have never been exposed to this process because I educate along the way and really help them. The money counts, but what really counts is how they feel when they end the process. So small to mid-sized business owners who have not bought or sold any or many businesses.
Terrific. And the inspiration for this series is that sort of lack of information out there or knowledge base where people do need to get educated on the process. And as you mentioned, a lot of sellers, they're not quite sure where to start and they don't have a lot of the information. So could you tell us, like, when they reach out to you, what are the biggest concerns on their minds? Like when they don't know exactly what they don't know, what are they looking for specifically?
Well, mostly they're looking for, how do I do this? That sounds very generic, but it's like they don't even know where to start. That's how I was when I was faced with the situation. So the process I use is the first time we meet, we simply go over the process, explain the whole thing to them from beginning to end. I show them business valuation because that's always a mystery. And I show them a sample of a sale prospectus, which is the primary vehicle for communicating why somebody should buy your business. And I show them support documents that can be generated from financials. And then at the end, we do, I call it the sweat test. Is their business ready to be sold? And it's been designed over the last 15 years to kind of make them sweat a little bit. So they're not over. And they might get from the business. And also they have an opportunity to correct some things to increase the value.
So it's definitely more complex and different than just selling your home. And that's one of the misconceptions I hear a lot from folks. And are there any other big myths or misconceptions that you hear business owners mention when it comes to selling their business? Any myths or misconceptions?
They think that if you, what was that movie?
Do they hold any
Field of Dreams? The worst thing that happened to America. Yeah, if you put it on the market, it will sell, right? Well, if you put it on the market, 80% of them don't sell. The other interesting fact related to that is only 1/3 of buyers find a business to buy. So that really reveals a lot about the fact that just putting it on the market doesn't mean you're going to buy it. Because if that were so, then the buyers would be buying and the sellers would be selling much more than that small percentage. So that's a big thing. The other myth is that you can get whatever you want. The myth is that you can get everything of all of your sweat equity returned. It won't happen.
Let's talk about some of the reasons that businesses may go unsellable or unsold. What are some of the big mistakes or pitfalls that business owners make that sabotage their success in selling their business?
The number one mistake they make is not having their financials ready to be examined closely on whether the buyer will be able to make money from it. So the worst example I can give you is a mechanic who had a garage wrote all the appointments by hand in his calendar and kind of jotted the name and kind of jotted the phone number, but you could not read the majority. We could not come up with a customer list, nor could we come up with any viable financials. If you don't have those two things, don't even leave the mark. Because if you get anything, it'll be like 5,000.
So how soon, how early should people start planning the process of selling their businesses? How early should they start?
Okay, theoretically, you should start the day you open your business, because whatever targets you set are the ones you're more likely to meet. And one target should be paying attention to value so that you can sell it well. But rarely does somebody who's just starting a business have the mental capacity to even begin that. So another thought is 3 years prior to the sale, because buyers look at 3 to 5 years worth of financial and other documents in the business. So if you don't have your financials right, if you don't have them matching your tax return for at least 3 years, it's probably going to hinder A, selling, or B, getting a good price. In reality, a smaller business that has decent financials have done good tax returns 6 months at least.
Virginia,
Prepare.
you mentioned one of the reasons you got into the business. Tell us more. Like, what really inspired you to become a business intermediary and help people sell their businesses? How did you get started in the field?
Well, there's 2 factors. Prior to owning the family business, I was a change management and turnaround consultant in the Fortune 500 environment. And in that capacity, I often worked with Goldman Sachs for a client where Goldman Sachs generated the valuation, and my job was to increase that value. My team's job was to increase that value. So we would meet every quarterly to review the valuation and see what improvements had been made. So I loved helping to increase value, and that's the first thing I did in my family's business. So that's part one. So when I was going to sell the business, I realized I really had to. I just sat there going like, well, how do I sell it? I knew you could sell one. I knew you could put a price on it, but I didn't know how. Then I tried to get help from my attorney and my accountant. Again, this was in 2006, so things have changed since, say, Shark Tank. No one was really willing to help me. Everybody kept sending me to someone else. So I ended up in Pittsburgh at the investment bankers, and they said, do you have 30 million in revenue? And honestly, that's a joke. Okay. No way did I have 30 million in revenue. So they wouldn't help me either. It was up to me. And that began me on the crusade to learn how to do it and then to help others do it, instead of going back to the big Fortune 500 world.
For folks that are listening now that are considering selling their business and they just realize that they really need to get their financial houses in order and prepare their business properly to sell, if they'd like to speak with you, how could they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
The website for my business is www.theexiteagle, THEEXITEAGLE.com. Also, you can phone me at 412-514-1050 or text.
Virginia, this
or
has
LinkedIn.
been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you. The same for you. I really appreciate your inviting me to do this.
That was Virginia Altman. She's the founder of the Exit Eagle out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals finally get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.